The Saturday Mother Goose Stakes Day $100 budget edition of the Notorious OTB and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN. Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And, folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse magazine. Like Cuban.
Yes, Cuban D.
And I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Joining me as always, you might know him as the Michelangelo of the Crying Michael Jordan. He is your favorite capper's favorite capper. By the way, shirts available. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry the Sniper Spears.
Hey, what is this? What is this shit here? Hold up. Hey, who been putting out their coals on my floor? Who has been putting out their coals on my floor? Hey. Have you people ever heard of toasters?
Barry's very particular.
It's
with
just
his,
words to live by, you know?
Yeah.
Don't put your cools out on my floor. But
No.
anybody that knows me knows that I hate getting dirty at all, so that fits perfect, my man.
Very nice. I like that you have respect for wood and respect for floor coverings. Guys, we're not alone today. We got someone joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know him from his work with NYRABets. Friend of the show, Matthew DeSantis.
Matthew, be careful, it's slippery right there, so. Jesus Christ! Come back, Matthew! Oh, God. Matthew, God. Rebecca.
We found him. He came back.
He came back. I know the Jamaican man is saying that he's gone, but he's here. What's up, Matthew? Welcome back. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. Thanks so much for having me back, guys. This is always a lot of fun, and so glad to see both of you. Got to see Sniper out at Del Mar this past weekend for the Breeders' Cup. That was a lot of fun, and also very much so appreciate any time you can put a drop on Trading Places, which is low-key like a top 5 comedy of all time. Like, that is one of the funniest movies that has brilliant social commentary. You can be as, you can go as in-depth into it as you like, but it's also just Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd being absolutely hysterical in that movie. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's it taught most of us our basics in the commodity.
It really did.
Pork belly and juice. Well,
Jamie Lee Curtis also taught us some things, but that's neither here nor there. We won't get into that.
Jamie Lee Curtis is a hua with a heart of gold. All right, let's get into it, guys. It's Thursday, and on Thursdays, Barry and I keep it 100. That's right. It's time for our Thursday $100 budget bets. Today, we turn to Matthew's stomping grounds for the Mother Goose Stakes Day at Aqueduct. And we've dug through this Saturday Aqueduct card from the rooter to the tutor to find our very best plays with a $100 budget. Let me pull up some past performances here. We're talking Aqueduct Saturday, the 8th of November, year of our Lord 2025. Post time for the card, 11:40 a.m. Eastern, 10:40 a.m. God's time, 8:40 a.m. Pacific time. Out on this Pacific coast. And guys, guess what? I'm actually kicking it off today.
Let's go.
Yeah, that always elicits a response. All right, race. I'm started off here. Race 3, 8 furlongs, $200,000. The Dwyer Stakes on the dirt. I'm going to be playing 2 plays here. The first is going to be a $10 win on the number 4 Stars and Stripes, 3-1. And then I'm also going to play a ice cold exacta with Stars and Stripes over the 2 here. And this is kind of the time of year, I think, when you're playing Aqueduct or Winter Duck that you really have to kind of grind it out, and it makes more sense to go slimmer here. Big prices can be rare in November, until the spring meet time of the year. So I decided to focus in on some places where I have high confidence and really kind of drill some of these plays ice cold with exactas. I did just that here. Start with the win bet, the number 4. I got $10 on it, Stars and Stripes. I'm trying to ride the coattails of Belmont Summer into Belmont Autumn. And there seems to be a few need the lead types in this race, as well as a Brad Cox horse doing a Flo Cox with Florent Giroux. I think that this one could get wild up front with the number 1 Tip Top Thomas, the 2 Disco Time, and the 6 Crudo for Bobby Flay, all kind of winging it for the front in this race. And I'll pause for Matthew to get his bullying out of his system, because this is a sprint race that
it's technically a route because it's a mile, so I'm not going to give you that hard of a time. It is a one-turn race, and I do think there is a fair amount of speed. I think the big question is whether or not the 1 and the 6 are both Pletcher horses and whether they go at each other early, or whether Kendrick kind of tries to rate a little bit off. But yeah, it could get a little dicey up front in this one for sure.
Yeah, well, I like Stars and Stripes to be the horse that takes advantage of that pace setup. And I like that there's some versatility based on what the race requires of him. He can race up close if they go slow. He can drop a couple links off if it speeds up. And I think that Lizcano is going to let this one kind of just run its race, and will be sitting in the most advantageous spot to take advantage of the 3 horses that could be, set on leading. Then I'm going to press my opinion with the Ice Cold Exacta. 'Tis the season in New York for going ice cold, and I'm doing just that here. One of the 3 horses I mentioned is the Flo Cox horse, Disco Time, that I think hangs to get a piece out front. The good news is I think if we hit this Exacta ice cold at the $10 base, then we definitely turned a profit for the day. Maybe a slim one, but definitely a profit, especially since the Exacta play means that the win bet cashes as well. So that is my play, kicking it off in race 3. Everyone except for Matthew. God, he always has to be the odd one out. Has a play in race 3. You, Barry, have a daily double that you're kicking off in race 3, rolling into race 4. What are you doing here?
Yeah. So I have a slightly different view of this race. I really think Tip Top Thomas lays over this field. If you look at who this horse was running with, just in general, the whole career for Tip Top Thomas, you have beat Cole Battle in Indiana, who's a pretty decent horse, beat Sand Devil when he was basically a front runner, and just outquicked that one, which was in May. Finished ahead of Moplex in the Champagne in his second start. Beat Rookie Card in his maiden race at Saratoga. I just don't see how anybody, no matter where they place this horse, can beat him. Disco Time, I think, got a perfect trip last time. That's quite an inflated number. If you look at that race, there was no challenge at all. That 102 is just way too high. And Crudo, I don't think is fast enough, frankly. So it kind of leaves Tip Top Thomas to this race all by himself. I think he will deliver. Hopefully they bet Brad Cox and Disco Time off the board. That would be ideal, but I don't know. I think Tip Top Thomas is just going to flat out beat this field, and we're going to start off our double with that one.
There we go. You roll it into race 4, 7 furlongs, $150,000 Pumpkin Pie Stakes. What's your play here to close out your daily double?
We're going to use 3 horses here. St. Benedict's Prep, the 2, Scalable, the 6, and the 7, Patricia Ann. Now, I say this going away from the 2 favorites in this race. Nick Style, who hasn't been out since March, which is kind of concerning in and of itself. The first, basically the start since then is now in November. Not ideal. And Weigh the Risk is another one that hasn't been out for a while, hasn't been seen since July. Got a perfect trip that day. So that number, that buyer they got is probably a little bit inflated, but still a good horse and is formidable. But I'm not sure what kind of running style they're going to employ here. And I think that opens up this race quite a bit. I liked Scalable last time in the Gallant Bloom, and the horse just didn't run a step. I can forgive that effort. The horse hadn't been out since January. Shows up end of September and runs like a pretty poor race. So that's not surprising. Johnny V sticks here, so that adds to the appeal. Patricia Ann is another one that's kind of on the rise. This horse ran a bang-up race in the Gallup Bloom, and I think that was the horse's coming out party. Just kind of stepped up and placed there. Probably will get a good trip, actually. We'll sit right off the leaders and get first run. And then St. Benedict Prep is another one that has his best races at Aqueduct. Some back class in the grade 2 Bed of Roses, Vagrancy, and Distaff, and the correction. So this horse fits. Just needs a good trip off the layoff, which the barn Linda Rice does well with these sort of comebackers and gets the go-to rider Jose Lascano. 12-1 seems like a good price here. So we're going to use the 2, 6, and 7 to close out this daily double.
Well, you're closing out your daily double, but Matthew is just now getting involved in his $100 budget. You've got a win bet coming out of race 4. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm going to go to a horse that Barry's actually fading. I do want to just echo Barry's sentiments on Scalable. That's a horse I've always liked and I think can deliver at a little bit of a price. But I ultimately went to the number 1, Nick Style. And I actually went to it for one of the reasons Barry brought up, which is the horse is coming off the bench. And what we've seen is that this horse fires off the bench and has done it repeatedly. Came back from a 19-month layoff for Ralph Nix, won easy, came back from another, 9-month layoff. And fired and ran really, really well up in Saratoga. I remember last year. And I just think, it's a horse that really can deliver off the bench. And so I'm not as worried about that sort of delay as normal. I like the fact this horse also has a few different running styles, can go straight to the front if Junior wants to press the matter, but can also come from off the pace, has dealt with the inside rail before, actually has won from the inside rail 2 of the last 3 times out. So that also doesn't concern me as much. And I also like the 7 furlong distance for this one. If you look at 7 furlongs, which can be a tricky distance for horses, this is one that's 2 for 2 at that distance. And you look at the way this one finished both of those races, was expanding on that lead both of those times and drawing off from the field. So wasn't a horse that was holding on there at the last second, but could actually add to it a little bit, add to the victory total. So I'm just going to do a simple $10 win bet on the number 1 here. Like you said, Aqueduct sometimes is a season just piecing some things together and sometimes winning small and then kind of saving it up for your spots. I got some bigger prices later that I like, but I'm going to get on the board in this one because I agree with Barry about weigh the risk. That horse's figure last time out just isn't real. And that horse is not running back to a 101. And so I'm going to try to beat that one with Nick Style. And I might actually just on my own just play around with like a Nick Style scalable exacta. But definitely like this one in this race.
There we go. Well, real quick, I've got an exacta in this race, but don't forget college basketball tips off this week. Make sure to subscribe to the College Experience to catch their daily podcast and download the SGPN app for free college basketball picks. On to my exacta. I'm playing an exacta here in race 4, a $10 exacta, 8 with 1-7. I think I've redeemed myself in the eyes of Matthew DeSantis. I think because it's a sprint race and it's a sprint stakes, and I'm taking the horse that I think is going to be on the front controlling this with Weigh the Risks, who apparently everyone else hates. But 9 to 5, the only real value here is to put it in top of my exacta play. Going to be well bet enough that I think it will probably be favored. Instead of putting like a $20 to win here, I'm going to try to hit that exacta at a $10 base over the only other 2 horses I thought to be competitive, which we agree on some of these. And up close to the pace, that's the big thing. The pace actually might be a little bit slow because I don't think that anyone can really go with Weigh the Risks. And I'm using the 1 Nick Style at 2-1 and the 7 Patricia Ann at 9-2 underneath because they should be sitting behind that early pace. And if Weigh the Risk goes to the front and slows it down a bit, then it's these 2 horses towards the front of the race shape that will likely get up from the minors. Matthew, I didn't just use the early speed. I used the first 3 early speeds in this race shape. How proud of me are you?
I don't know. I got to clutch my chest and say, Lord, I'm coming for you. I just, maybe I've been drinking too much Diet Mountain Dew. My heart's beating, for you, Chase, to do this. One of the things I'll add a little factoid about the previous race, the Dwyer. If Johnny V wins aboard Tip Top Thomas, he will tie a certain jockey for 6 wins in the Dwyer in his career, which would be the most. For 10 bonus points for absolutely nothing, can you guys name who he will tie for 6 wins apiece in the Dwyer?
I got 2 guesses. It's either
Go
Mike
for it.
Smith or Javier Castellano.
No, neither.
No.
What about
is-
the MIG?
No, not the make. It's Jerry Bailey. with
Bailey.
6 wins in
Yeah,
the
that
Dwyer.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
yeah, so I was looking that up last night.
Interesting.
This is
Well,
what I do in my free
Track
time, guys.
facts.
It's a lot of fun.
Track facts.
Track facts. Yeah, you need to start pumping out track facts along with the track stats. Maybe like a required reading of the track facts before you can actually.
Yeah,
access the track
that's my
stat.
fault.
I loved it.
All right,
I
guys.
never get it right.
Real quick, got to get a word in from our friends at First Bet. That's one ST Bet. You can get a $250 sign up bonus. Unlock a $25 bonus for every $100 you bet over the first 60 days, up to a max bonus of $250. Use code SGPN. Okay, we roll
I
it
covered
into
Maddie's
race.
eyes for that one. I covered
Yeah.
his eyes.
Yeah, we
He
did.
didn't.
Put on the blinders.
It's all good. We have friends over at First. We have a lot of friends over at First. You know.
Oh, yes, we do.
We do. So it's all good.
Tyler,
Well,
my guy.
good time for a little change here, and to change it up, Matthew, you have your second play coming out of race 5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, listen, it's a maiden turf sprint, so let's go with this. And in a maiden turf sprint, I'm always going to lean towards George Weaver. I just think that I joked with it right before Sci-Fair won at the Breeders' Cup. He's the new Wesley Ward, and so I really like his. He has 2 in this race, but I like the number 11, A Moment of Love. 7-2, Flavian Pratt up on the mount. That's always something that takes note, especially after Flavian won 7 races on Sunday at the final day of Belmont at the Big A meet. And what I particularly like about this one is the pedigree. The dam meets expectations. It's produced 3 first out winners from 6 foals, including the full sibling, who actually both full siblings won in debut, World of Trouble, as well as Alfie Solomon. So I love that there's a lot of precocity in that pedigree. You give me a trainer like Weaver, who's so good in these turf sprints and getting horses ready in their first start. You put a top jockey up. I know it's a relatively short price for a maiden field, but I'm going to do a $10 win bet here. And then I'm also going to do an exacta on a $5 base. I'm going to hit that 11 up top. And I'm going to play a bunch of different prices underneath. I'm going to go to the 2 Channel View, the other Weaver horse that's getting blinkers on, who I actually didn't think ran all that bad in debut. I'm going to use the 4, 360, 8-1 for Tony Dutrow. Try and turf for the first time. There is turf pedigree if you go back a generation or 2 on the dam side. Again, getting the blinkers on in a nice workout. I also like the 7, Fraudster for Pletcher cutting back, the 8 for Rudy, and then the 10 as well for Linda. So I'm going to go 11 over 2, 4, 7, 8, 10 on a $5 base. That's a $20 bet on the exacta. So overall, $30 spent in this race.
There we go. Is that your biggest like budget allocation for any race so far?
I think there's another race where I do 32, but yeah, like it's one of those, Chase, it's a good point, because when you're at Aqueduct and these types of winter meets, sometimes you pick and choose your spots. Like there's races where you have a strong opinion and you go, yeah, we're going to put a lot of our bankroll in this 1 or 2 races, because you could also run into some races where you go, man, this is chalky. I just don't see a lot of prices. And so it's not surprising that I ended up putting a lot of money into some of the turf races and things like that, where maybe the fields are a little bit bigger. You can catch prices, whether it's up top or underneath. So yeah, that was part of my strategy, which is kind of really going in on a couple of specific races that I liked.
By the way, when does the shrink wrap go on the turf in New York?
Oh, too soon. Although it is a moment of the winter when you see the shrink wrap go on the turf, because usually it doesn't coincide exactly with when the racing is over. They usually let it out and like just let it out for like a week or 2, and then the shrink wrap just like comes on. It's like one of those things, like one day you just show up at work and you're like, damn, the shrink wrap's on. And so it's just, it kind of captures you, gets you out of nowhere.
I like to, probably more than I'm going to, would like to admit, have daydreams about setting some sort of like land speed record on my belly, slip and slide style, on the shrink wrap.
I love it. We have corgi races. Why can't we have these?
Yeah, I mean, I might lose a nipple in the process, but I think it's worth
Ah.
trying. Barry,
We'll get you to sign an insurance waiver. It's fine.
yeah, who needs
No.
nipples anyway? Barry, race 5, you're kicking off another daily double here into race 6. What are you thinking for race 5? Barry, you're muted, buddy.
All of Maddie's horses I did not use. Not single.
Wow, that's impressive
Wow.
because I had a lot.
That is pretty impressive.
That kind of speaks to how wide open we probably
does.
think this race is. So I'm gonna go with a $5 daily double, race 5 into race 6. I'm gonna use the 4 360. This horse ran pretty good first time out. Gets blinkers. A bullet on November 2nd. I don't believe they wanted to run on the dirt. The horse ran pretty good anyway. I think that's just only adds to the appeal. Getting on the preferred surface. Tony Dutrow does very well with these types. I know first time turf, his stats aren't that great, but this is a different kind of circumstance. So we're going to use the 4 360 at 8-1. We're also going to use the 5 Chat-A-Lot. Another one who I think needed the race. If you watch his replay on October 10th, this horse was inside, outside, all the way around, didn't get off very well. And I expect a much, much improved performance with Mr. Rosario aboard for Miguel Clement. And then I'm going to use the 9, Take Home Gold, who's a full sister to a horse named Goldwood, who's banked $390K on the lawn and is a turf sprinter. So the cutback makes a ton of sense, showed speed. I'm sure the buyer number in the paper, people are just going to shy away. But this horse has put up a few bullets, including one. I know it was 1 out of 4, but I still think this horse is training well coming into this race. George Duarte doesn't run too many up at Aqueduct or in New York, period. I think this one might have a shot. 20-1 seems like a stretch. I don't think this horse is going to be 21, but should be a good price. So we're going to use those 3 to get out of this race.
The good news is I think you got this fucking thing surrounded with all the horses that you're using.
Somebody's winning.
If you guys come up dry here in the 5th, I'm gonna have
we stink.
Things to say.
Terrible.
Terrible, just terrible. Well, your daily double rolls into race 6, 9 furlongs, $88,000, non-winners of 1 something. I'm not here to read your fucking conditions. Allowance on the dirt, going 2 turns. What do you want to close your daily double out with here, Barry?
I'm going to use 2 horses in this race, and I'm going to fade the 1 Dreamlike. I just think this horse just is win challenged, just doesn't want to win. Horse runs pretty well all the time, but just doesn't win races. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling. Likes to finish second a lot. Despite the buyer standout, I still think this horse will find a way to fumble the bag here. So we're going to use the 5 Commuted, who has some speed and might end up shaking loose. And if that does happen, I think this horse is going to be incredibly tough to run down. Comes into this race in good form. I like the fact that they're stretching out. I think that's the best thing for this horse, is to stretch out that speed after improvement, after going long a couple of times, namely at Saratoga and then the last time at Aqueduct on September 12th. And we're going to use the 8 Tracking Error, who you can throw out that last race at Kentucky Downs, and even the 1 1/8 effort at Saratoga just weren't good trips. The horse really isn't a turf horse, but there's a chance that this horse has improved off this layoff and could get a really good trip. It was keeping good company before those last 2 efforts, and I think this horse can go back to what they need to do. I mean, this field isn't full of monsters or anything, and I think they can get a great trip. So we're going to use the 5 and the 8 to close out the double.
There we go. And then what? You just wait at the window,
Wait,
right?
yeah,
So,
you stand in line, bro.
No reggaeton, why they pay me?
Boom.
so Whitey pays you. All right. We roll in to race 7, where I've got to play here. Everyone's got to play in race 7. Everyone also, by virtue of knowing their picks ahead of time, does not like the same thing that I like. I'm playing race 7, 9 furlongs, $200,000, the Hill Print Stakes, grade 3 on the turf, I'm going ice cold in an exacta, and it's going to be a $20 exacta, 6 with the 8. I'm just having a Saucy William fall this year. It was Saucy William summer. That's Bill Mott, by the way. Saucy William summer. I'm extending it later in the year because I'm going ice cold again in an exacta, and I'm keying Bill Mott's horse in first place. Stars and Strides, 2-1. I'm breaking tendencies here because, as Barry will attest, I may get made fun of for thinking every sprint race breaks down. However, the real shameful shit I do, real shameful shit, is that I think that every single turf route is going to get wired. I'm breaking to that tendency here, and I'm attempting to use a horse from the second wave who will be tracking the weak-hearted early speed of the 7 Griffin's Wharf. Stars and Strides would have the wide stalking trip behind Griffin's Wharf, and I like the smooth kind of energy distribution when you look at the time form figures that should leave Stars and Strides with plenty in the tank for the stretch drive. And I'm keying the Chad Brown horse underneath with a lot of closing kick in this big ice cold exacta with the 8 Mayor of Midnight. I think that some might see this one as a world beater with Flavian Pratt up for this race, but I'm going to fade this one to second because there's a big question with this one as it moves into Stakes Company, which is how will Mayor of Midnight run in the spot without Lasix being applied? Every win and hell, every race has been with Lasix on. So I think you take the shot at fading this one to second instead of using on top. So I'm going $20 ice cold race 7, 6 with the 8. Now, Matthew, you're in here with a win bet in race 7. What's your idea? What are you doing?
I'm going to go to a horse I've always liked on the inside, and that's number 1, Noble Confessor. At 5-1 with Kendrick Carmouche aboard for Todd Pletcher. I think they figured something out, maybe with the blinkers on. I think this horse needs to just go to the front, and I think Kendrick with inside post position will do it. The interesting thing is, if you look at the time form numbers, sure, Griffin's Wharf is faster early speed, but Griffin's Wharf doesn't try to wire a lot of fields, doesn't actually like to go up front. Same thing's true with Tiz Dashing. You can look at Tiz Dashing's numbers, and the early pace numbers look a little bit better. But that horse always just tracks off the pace. I think Kendrick goes straight to the front with this horse. This is how Noble Confessor won its maiden. It's been facing outstanding competition throughout his career. I remember being right next to 2 Pletcher assistants the day of the Pilgrim last year when this one just lost to Zulu Kingdom, and they were incredibly high on this horse. And it's funny, the 2 assistants were kind of like debating about what Todd would do, whether or not they would send this horse to the Breeders' Cup after that effort. And of course they did, and he ran 6th. I just think this is a really good horse who's faced really tough competition throughout his career. And I think Kendrick with the blinkers on is aggressive, and I think could wire the field. But I mean, I think, if he sits second behind Griffin's Wharf, it's not the end of the world either. So I like Noble Confessor at 5-1.
There you go. Well, Barry, you're dipping your toe into race 7 as well. You've got a win bet. Do you agree with Matthew?
Absolutely. Noble Confessor is my $20 win bet in this race. If you look at the company this horse is kept, you'll see Hill Road a couple of times, Burnham Square, Wimbledon Hawkeye, Henri Matisse, Zulu Kingdom, Filoso, T-Craft, and Chancer McPatrick. I don't see anybody keeping that kind of company in this race at all. I don't think this horse really needs the lead to win. I think that they want to be close up, but I think they're just better, just flat out better than these horses. And I'd be amazed if we get 5-1. I would say we probably get 3-1, 5-2-ish, but I'll take it.
There we go.
Yeah. I think the blinkers, it's interesting. The blinkers could do 2 things, Barry, right? It could infuse a little bit more speed, or it could just help the horse focus and actually pass some horses, which is something it's always struggled to do a little bit. It can be a little one pace sometimes throughout his career. But, as a 2-year-old, he did a little bit of passing in that Pilgrim. But, yeah, I think the blinkers can serve a couple purposes here. And I just love Kendrick up on this one.
Well, there we go. They both disagree with me. Apparently, everyone disagrees with me in every single race that I'm in today. Not a great feeling. Not a great feeling. But real quick, before we hit our next race, just got to remind you one more time that you need to go to First Bet, sign up, get your $250 sign-up bonus. Use code SGPN, $25 bonus for every $100 you bet over your first 60 days, max of 250 bones. So check that out. And what about that? We're back, guys. What are we doing? We're giving out free picks.
And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless.
All right. I kick off the next race. We both, I think everyone skipped over race 8. We went into race 9 here. We're talking 9 furlongs. We're talking $300,000. We're talking the Mother Goose Stakes, a grade 2 for 3-year-old fillies. This is actually my biggest investment of the day here. I've got a $20 win on the number 6, and I'm playing a $5 exacta 56569. I'm really going to hang my hat in the Mother Goose Stakes and say that I've got, a winner here with the number 4 fully subscribed at 4-1. It was my assumption that this one would be the other Chad with Dylan Davis up in this race. The one that will likely have more steam, I think, is the number 5 Philly Freedom at 15-1 with Ricardo Santana Jr. up in the spot. I think it will take a good bit of that other Chad money, and I'll keep fully subscribed's price pretty fair. And I think it's pretty certain that one of these will win this race. And these are the 2 horses that want to go fast early, and one doesn't look fast enough to win. And the other, the 3's Lemon Zest for Brad Cox, has the same knock I had on another horse early in this card, which is the horse is yet to win Sans Lasix. And that's what put me on the 2 mid-pack Chad Brown horses with fully subscribed and Philly Freedom. And I'm opting to put the strong win bet on fully subscribed. And I'm playing a $5 exacta, 5-6 with 569. And I'm slightly hedging my pick here with the part wheel exacta because I do think that you see an either or sort of situation. If I didn't call the Chad Brown coin flip right, I will have the exact in my back pocket, and I'm putting Philly Freedom and fully subscribed on top and wheeling in the number 9 Drexel Hill at 7-2. We haven't seen since their 3rd place finish in the Oaks, and I like Drexel Hill, but I think that this one wants to start from too far back and won't have the runway to actually get up and win it. So I'm in for $40. I'm actually in for my 100, so I'll do the blackjack, wash my hands of it thing. So $20 win on number 6, fully subscribed, a $5 exacta 5-6 with 569. Matthew, what are you doing here in race 9?
Well, for better or worse, you and I see this race pretty similarly, actually. I really like the 5. That's actually my top choice. When I did my analysis on NYRABets, I did my write-up before David did the morning line, and I also assumed that Philly Freedom would be, 8-1. I didn't think it was that crazy of an idea for this horse to win this race. And when I saw his morning line at 15-1, I thought, well, geez, maybe I am nuts. I don't know.
You are.
Yeah. But I thought this horse was worth taking a shot at. Because here's the thing is, I don't have any confidence in the 3, Lemon Zest. There's not a lot of speed in this race. And this horse faded going a mile and a 16th. And I'm not going to really trust this horse going a mile and an 1/8. So there she is a horse that I do think is dangerous for Doug O'Neill on the outside. This horse also has good early speed. And in all likelihood, the early part of this race is going to look like a replay of the Remington Park Oaks, where those 2 are going to probably sit 1-2 in the early going. I just thought the 5 and the 6 could carve out that perfect trip right behind both of them and get first run at it. I was impressed by the fact the 6 fully subscribed nearly got the job done at this 9 furlong distance last time out. It's so interesting. I think you can knock so many horses in this field. And I think you can make a case for or against nearly everyone in a lot of ways. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to make a case for and against horses, I might as well take a shot with a price. And so I ultimately just used a $5 exacta box with the 5, 6, and 8. So that's a total of a $30 bet, and just box those 3 horses. I'm fading Drexel Hill. I don't love the layoff. I don't love particularly the layoff from the Kentucky Oaks. I also don't love the fact that there's not going to be a ton of pace, and this one needs pace. I think this one likes either a 1-turn setup or a really strong pace going 2 turns, and I don't think she gets it here. I think she kind of runs up into the try in the super, but I'm a little worried about that. And so, Yeah, and like I said, I'm just kind of fading the 3 as well, who I think just, couldn't get it done at 8.5 for long. So I have a hard time thinking she's going to get it done at 9 against a little bit of a tougher field. So I'm going to take a swing in this race. 5, 6, 8, exact the box, $5 base, $30 overall total.
Yay. Someone agrees with me finally. There we go. Barry, you've got your play here in race 9. And I believe this puts you in for your 100 too, right?
Yes, sir.
What are we doing?
$20 win bet on number 8. So there she was. I just appreciate this horse's improvement when going long. First time going long in the grade 3 Torrey Pines, just missed to Almond Joy, who was razor sharp at the moment, and actually in California. So I don't think anybody was really beating that horse. And they just missed, came out of that into the Remington Park Oaks and won that fairly easily. In this race, it's kind of the haves and the have-nots. The horses that have run in bigger, better company versus those that are trying to break into it. I didn't have any confidence in horses like the 5 or the 6, unfortunately, because they haven't run in stakes races. I mean, Philly Freedom hasn't even run against winners yet. I can't back a horse like that in a race like this. And there's a lot of closers, so I think that So There She Was will get an excellent trip. And I hope it happens just like Maddie talked about, that it's a replay of the Remington Park Oaks. And if that's the case, So There She Was will be in the winner's circle.
There we go. Now, Matthew, you actually saved part of your bankroll for the final race here. But for the rest of us, we're down to bailout bets. That's right. We have saved our tastiest morsels for the final race of the day to get you out with a little bit of profit in your pocket. We're talking bailout bets.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Go ahead. So, Matthew, since this is part of your bankroll, go ahead and let us know what you're going to be doing in race 10.
Yeah, I'm leaving with something, too. That was like me leaving the media tent at the end of the previous I'm leaving with something.
He was taking all the coasters and...
Yeah, I'm leaving with some merchandise. I'm from around the way.
Putting out cools on the floor.
You haven't left with something until you've got
putting
the
cools out on the floor. That's what he's doing.
The $25,000 alpaca. You blocked
that.
Yeah,
you blocked that.
I have a collection of chapsticks, free Breeders' Cup chapsticks.
I love it.
From the time
I love it.
They're in little circles and make me feel like I got them from Sephora. Go ahead, Matthew. What are you doing in race 10?
Yeah, listen, this is a race where, I'll be honest, there's a lot of horses that are allergic to getting their picture taken for a stakes race. And so it's a little bit of an interesting field. I'm ultimately going to go to the number 2 Grayosh for Chad Brown at 5-1. I like this horse. I'm going to put a $10 win bet down on this one to get the job done here. I know this is a horse that traditionally does not, it's been uber consistent. You look at the speed figures on this horse, just incredibly consistent from race to race. Doesn't always get the job done. Here's why I like this one. We're expecting a little bit of rain Friday and Saturday. The ground is going to have a little bit of give in it up here in New York. Look at the 2 times this horse has won over good turf. This horse likes some cut in the grass. I think it's going to get it. I like the setup here. Flavian Pratt up 5-1. I'll take that. And then I'm just going to do a very simple straight exacta 2 over the 3 Beach Bomb. Who's your favorite? And makes all the sense in the world. But again, a horse that has only ever won going gate to wire and hasn't really shown the desire to go up to the front lately. So I do worry about that. And so for that reason, I kind of think, well, I'm going to put this horse second. I'll go with a little bit of a bigger price up top. So I'm just going to go a $10 straight exacta 2 over 3. And that's going to be the last $20 I spend in my $100 bankroll.
There you go. As someone who has bet way more than he would care to admit at Turfentine and Kenilworth, I love seeing these South African horses come over.
I do too. It's awesome. Yeah,
they should go straight to Gulfstream because South Africa is the most durfiest place on the planet from what I can tell. It's very durfy. Well,
can we get Leonardo DiCaprio and Blood Diamond? Can we get a drop of that somewhere anytime the South African?
That was the worst accent in history.
It's not great. It's not great. And to be fair to him, South Africans' accents are not easy to do, but
No,
it
they're
is
not.
still one of the worst accents. Yeah.
I wish I have it on my phone. I don't have it in here, but it's Dave Chappelle as as Nelson Mandela.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one. Nelson Mandela.
If I wanted to be mean, I would tell this kid that he's fat.
Yes.
All right, Barry, what's your bailout here in race 10?
Not too exciting at all. I think Beach Bomb lays over this field. There's not much in here, and Beach Bomb is the speed. I know Immensitude has shown speed in the past, but I mean, if Javier Castellano is anything, I think he is. He's going to go right to the front and not look back. He beat Immensitude in this fashion back at Gulfstream in the very one back in March. It looks like a replay of that, and if they're smart, they'll do that and not try to pass anybody. Been keeping better company, the whole nine. I don't know what kind of price we're going to get, honestly, because I think other horses are going to get bet here. So I don't think Beach Bomb's going to be like a super duper favorite, like a 3 to 5. But I'd take 9 to 5 on a horse like this to end in the card.
Well, there you go. I got to admit something, which is welcome to the world of ADHD, because I completely forgot that we do bailout bets on $100 budget shows. So I was scrambling here late, and I went with a win on the number 6, Immensitude, because I think every turf route will get wired. That's pretty much what that.
This one has a good chance.
Yeah, has a good chance. Should be out there on the front. I don't think they go too terribly fast. I'll be honest, I just really kind of speed capped this with the time form pace projection like a punk. Like a punk, I say.
I'm going to give you a Blaine DeSantis play, which is a $2 show bet. I'm going to do a $2 show bet in this race on Brock
7.
Nardini. I love Brock Nardini. Irrationally, this is becoming a simplification problem. But I just the number 4. This is a horse that was so good in debut. I thought this horse was going to have a huge career. I remember that debut at Saratoga so well. That horse took off and it looked like somebody kicked it in the ass and just
I remember.
flew home. And I thought, wow, did that horse have a turn of foot? And never really fulfilled that potential. Blinkers are coming on.
State bred.
George Weaver, Johnny V. I could see this horse running a lot better than 20 to 1. If this horse gets more forwardly placed, that would be interesting. I don't know. There's something in that horse that has a big effort. I don't know if it's today, but I'd screw around with a couple bucks on a show bet on Brock Nardini at a big price.
Here's a couple bucks on the show bet. Here's what Matthew looks like as Brock Nardini tries to get into the trifecta. Nothing like that
That's
show
Brock
bet
Nardini
anxiety.
after the race. That's him after the race. It's like, why did you do this to me?
I don't want to go a mile and 3/8. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Weird career for that horse.
It is a weird career, right?
He broke his maiden, like you said, in crazy fashion. Then won a stake race, and then a state bred optional claim for 45,000. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a weird, and that horse will oddly take money at times it shouldn't, and so it's interesting. And that horse always takes early money too. That's what's really interesting is when pools open, Brock Nardini's number's always half of what it is on the morning line, and then he floats up slowly. But there's always early money on that horse.
Hold on, this guy, the owner's name is Thomas Broccoli, and it's
I
not
saw
spelled
that.
like
EY.
That man is in the witness protection program.
Has to be, right?
That's like my name's James fake name. That's come on, man.
Or like remember Luck,
no
where they had the owner was not the real owner. It was just
he was the Greek with the golden arm who had the yeah. I love it. I've watched the show Luck more times than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
But it actually, I feel like it really kind of encapsulates the whole DGen experience pretty well.
It does. I mean,
yeah,
it definitely does.
All right. Well, let's get to it. I just want to say real quick before I was able to add the graphics that I made for everybody's picks, I was actually told that I have like maxed out the number of things that you can add to StreamYard with. So I had to like make some really like important decisions as to which sound drops stayed. But anywho, Matthew, go ahead, lead us off.
Yeah, I'll start things in race number 4, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to use $10 win bet on the number 1 in the pumpkin pie stakes. That's Nick Style. Then I will go and spend $30 in race 5, $10 to win on the 11, A Moment of Love, and I will do a $5 exacta base with the 11 on top over the 2, 4, 7, 8, 10. That's a $20 bet for a total of $30 in that race. I then go to the race 7, the Hill Prince Stakes. I'll do a $10 win bet on the number 1, Noble Confessor. In race number 9, I will do a $5 exacta box on the 5, 6, 8 for a total of a $30 bet. And then close things out in the Long Island with a $10 win bet on the number 2, Grayosh, and a straight 2, 3, $10 exacta.
There's a typo here, and it's because I made an assumption in your message. It had 2, 4, 7, 8, 19. I was like, maybe he means 9. No, I see what you're doing there.
I'm sorry.
I see how it happened now. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like when I went on a cruise my senior year in high school, and my travel agent had like a googly eye and wasn't really good with the 10 key. And so like I was 17, but listed as 47 years old and was the only person who could buy alcohol of like my high school friends. Was the most popular I've ever been in my life. Barry, here you go.
So we have race 3, $10 daily double. Tip Top Thomas in race 3 with number 2, St. Benedict's Prep, number 6, Scalable, and number 7, Patricia Ann in race 4. Race 5, a $5 daily double. Number 4, 360. Number 5, Chat-A-Lot, and number 9, Take Home Gold with number 5, Commuted, and number 8, Tracking Error in race 8. In race 6, sorry. Race 7, $20 to win on number 1, Noble Confessor. Race 9, $20 to win on number 8. So there she was. And the bailout selection, number 3, Boring Beach Bomb, but to the hoop we go.
He's taking it to the hoop.
Love Duncan, guy. What are you talking about?
Here we go. My Saturday Mother Goose Stakes Day, $100 budget. Race 3, I'm playing a $10 win on 4 and a $10 ice cold exacta 4 with the 2. Race 4, we're doing a $10 exacta 8 with the 1-7. Race 7, a big boy pants kind of a swing with an ice cold exacta 6 with the 8 for $20. Race 9, $20 win on number 6, and a $5 exacta 5-6 with 5, 6, 9. Guys, we've done it. We've done it. We've gone through most of the Mother Goose Stakes. We talked about almost every single horse in race 5, which and
we still might not have gotten the winner. I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like you guys have set yourself up for an all but situation. Have you guys ever played the all but and then you get beat by the but? That's rough. That's rough right there. It happens to me more than I'd also. There are things that I'm saying that I more than I'd care like to admit with like the South African races and everything, but more I'd like to admit I get beat by the all but horse. That's it. We've done
the best of us.
Yeah, Matthew, you have anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Just a bunch of content up on NYRABets. So, race of the week analysis, this week in racing, YouTube channel. There's going to be plenty of stuff post Breeders' Cup. This is always my favorite time of year. I don't know about you guys. Love making top 5 lists. I love it. Like top 5 best finishes of the year, top 5, worst performances, top 5, Sniper, you should make something like top 5 worst chalks of the year. Top 5, biggest long shots or something like that. I always love these end of year lists and then getting in the debates over the different Eclipse Awards and doing that. And it's just always a lot of fun. So getting ready for that and then getting ready for Turfway. That's also an exciting time.
Yes, sir.
So excited for Turfway.
Hey, what about Tampa?
Excited for Tampa, excited for the championship meet. You know it. I mean, I love winter racing. And then you got we got the duct up here in Ozone Park. So I'm happy for that too. And, it's the last go round at Aqueduct. So, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing to commemorate Aqueduct and all of its history. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh, that's not cool.
Top 5.
Actually, you know what? Hey, now that Uncle Sully brings that up, I want to get this out there. Mindframe may have run the best race out of anybody in that race. He was 4 wide the whole way, pressed the pace, and just tired. I won him out of that. I know. I won him out of that race more than anybody.
He ran a huge race, I thought. And yeah, but I mean, kudos to Forever Young. I mean, because when they stepped on the track, Barry, I know you saw
He
him
looked great all week.
When they stepped on the track, though, Sierra Leone looks like he's 2 times the size of Forever Young. Like, they look like 2 different species of horse. And it's incredible to see how big Sierra Leone is compared to Forever Young. But that horse, I said it all week, he's a grinder in terms of Forever Young. He just doesn't stop. He's not going to stop running.
They finally
Sierra
figured
needs
out
horses to come back to him as much as he can track them down.
Yep. And they
Forever
finally
Young's not
figured
coming back.
out, Forever Young, their connections finally figured out that the horse needs to be forwardly placed in the U.S. You can't run horses down here like they do in Japan. You have to be close up, and then basically the lead ended up falling in their lap, and they took advantage of it, and it was a great ride, great preparation. The horse only ran 3 times all year, and was tip top every time. So kudos goes out to them.
I will say the jockey Sakai did a brilliant job.
Yeah.
I know Johnny wants to blame contrary thinking because that's the company line, but the reality is Sakai kept his ass and Fierceness down on the rail.
Yep,
and
pinned him
would
in.
not let him off, and that's not where Fierceness wants to be. And it'll let Forever Young get the first jump, and it was a brilliant job by him to jockey that horse, I thought. And yeah, I mean, just what a cool race. And I mean, just incredible. The top 3 from last year or the top 3 again this year. Really cool.
Mindframe is a horse that I've been saying for well over a year now that once he puts it all together, he's
got
going
to stay
be
healthy. That's his problem.
Super dangerous horse. It seems like Mindframe, you can blame him not being able to run in a straight line at the end of a few races in his 3-year-old season. I think like once like everything finally puts everything together, he's going to be
honestly
a killer horse.
He's an absolute freak of nature, and again, if he's healthy, that horse can run. He just got the worst trip ever and still ran on. I mean, he didn't really quit until the last, maybe 100 yards or so. He was right there the whole way in a horrible trip. So that's the horse I want out of that race.
There we go. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Uncle Sully, thank you for shitting up this chat in classic Uncle Sully fashion. Just kidding. We love having Junior Mafia popping off in the chat. By the way, Notorious OTB Junior Mafia hats available, as well as the sniper shirt. Check that out. There we go. Look at everyone's wearing merch. Matthew, where's your merch, Matthew?
I'm wearing Saratoga. I'm wearing a Saratoga polo.
This is why Matthew falls off the cliff, right?
That's right. That's why.
Have the gear.
This is why. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We will be back tomorrow, bright and early, our normal time, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. God's time. We're going to be talking best bets that we put on our mamas for the Del Mar Friday card.
Yeah, we're the worst at that. Our moms hate us at this point.
I've actually turned it around, man. I've been doing pretty well with that as of late.
No.
Yeah.
Not on Fridays.
We'll go.
I think we've only cashed once the whole year, honestly, or maybe twice.
I hit 2 weeks in a row not that long ago, actually.
Nah, that didn't count. That was like 3 to 5 shots.
No, it wasn't. That was a 6-1, and I also gave out the $2 trifecta.
Not on a Friday.
I was like, it was on a Friday. It was a Santa Anita Friday. I remember clearly.
You got to tell me. Because I forgot.
Listen, they changed some laws here in Arkansas, so I'm not nearly as high as I normally am all the time. I have that steel trap memory here of cashing some Friday bets.
By the way,
but
they
anyway,
haven't changed any laws at Aqueduct, so just come on down to Ozone Park anytime.
There you go.
There we go.
Second floor action.
Not a mercy.
Not a mercy.
There we go. All right, that's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB. Let me find a clip to ride out on. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
13